Hello, folks. It's been a while. It's been a minute. And, it's because lots of stuff has been going on in this girl's life. It's been a little bit of a shit show. But I am back. And, better than ever. Maybe not better than ever. Maybe not better than ever. But I'm working to it. Alright? I'm working to it. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to keep someone on the hook? Maybe like a situationship or a late night texting situation, or maybe even just swiping on dating apps just so you don't feel alone with yourself. That constant need for attention, even if it's not essentially from the right person per se, it feels comforting in that moment, right? And it actually can feel addictive, but underneath it, usually there's something deeper going on. And today I want to dive deep into my personal story, of realizing how much I have been, relying on others to, fill a space that I needed to fill within myself. You know what I mean? But anyways, I just want to say hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I don't know if this is going to be a mental health Monday because it's a little bit late. I have been slacking a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. I've been going through a little bit of a rough time. A lot of processing of emotions, to say the least. I've been in therapy. I've been working through a specific trauma, which uncovered another trauma that happened in my life that I'm buried deep down. And, I'm kind of going through a little bit of an identity crisis, but it's okay. I'm going to figure it out. I always do. I always figure it out, and if you're going through a rough time, you will figure it out too. Just give yourself that grace that you need, okay? So yeah, honestly, I've been going through a rough time, and I've been thinking about certain situation, that's been sitting with me a lot lately, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. So I thought I would make a podcast on it. Sorry, can't talk. You can tell I haven't done this in a while. So, anyways, enjoy the podcast, folks. For as long as I can remember, I have been searching for attention from guys in relationships, in each relationship that I get into. You know what I mean? It's like I am kind of relying on them to give me the attention that I need to fill this void inside of me that is missing something. And now that I am, not talking to anybody, I'm also sober, I am sitting with all these emotions. And, I didn't fully realize it until now, that constant, reassurance and that validation, became something that I leaned on and I became essentially addicted to. It feels like a withdrawal that I'm going through right now. Not talking to anybody. It's crazy. It was almost like I needed it to feel worthy or seen, and since I'm not talking to anybody right now, there's still a part of me that is craving that attention, right? It almost feels like a void inside of me, and something's missing, right? But honestly, I've been so tempted to download the dating apps, okay? And, just get that quick hit of attention, a quick fix of attention, But deep down, I know that's not what I truly need. This is where our good old friend willpower comes in, all right? I've been holding myself back lately from going down that road because I know it's not about filling this, temporary emptiness with someone else's attention, right? What I'm really being called to do right now is turn inward, right? To look for that attention and validation I was looking for from others in myself. And it's a real journey, guys, but come on, buckle up and let's go for a ride. Here's the thing. Psychology explains this cycle very clearly, okay? A lot of these patterns tie back to what we call attachment styles, okay? When we were young, the way our caregivers, our parents, showed us love and responded to our needs shapes the way we attach to others in adulthood, right? If you grew up with inconsistent love, and, neglect or mixed signals, right? You might develop what's called an anxious attachment style. And I'm guilty of that. I do have an anxious attachment style, okay? And, this basically means that you crave closeness and reassurance and you might start to feel unworthy or unloved when you don't get it, right? And that's exactly what I see in myself, right? So I'm always chasing some sort of validation from relationships to feel secure with myself, right? And I need to stop that. I need to find that security within myself. And that is what this video is all about. Here's the thing. Attachment styles aren't fixed, okay? You know, psychology also shows us that with self-awareness and intentional healing, you know, we can actually shift towards a secure attachment style, right? And that is where the real work comes in. You know, learning to validate ourselves, excuse me, to sit with uncomfortable feelings without running from them, and to protect it, and to practice self-compassion instead of self-criticism. I read this amazing book. Actually, I'm reading it again, and it's all about attachment styles. I'll go get it right now. So the book is actually just called Attached, and it is by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller. Okay, guys, I think you can get it on Amazon. It is the best book when it comes down to attachment styles, okay? It really narrows it down on all the different types, you know, the secure, the avoidant, anxious, and, you know, it just kind of breaks it down to a level that makes you really understand how it comes to be in your life. And you know, it's not just all about childhood experiences. You know, your attachment style can change throughout different experiences that you've gone through in life, or you know, different relationships that have molded you to change that attachment style. So anyways, I do recommend this book, Attached. What does that healing look like for me? For me, it's choosing not to numb this discomfort with another situationship or downloading a dating app to look for that attention, right? It's resisting the urge to look outside of myself for love, you know, when all I need to do is actually nurture the love that's inside of myself, right? It's always been there. And finally realizing that means talking to myself nicely when my inner critic comes up in my head. You know, it means setting boundaries. It means journaling about my feelings and reminding myself daily that I am enough, I am worthy on my own, you know, without someone else's constant reassurance. I do not need that, right? And none of you guys need that either. We are healing in this journey together because we are the becomers, right? That's my next tattoo. I'm gonna get becoming right here, guys. It's gonna happen, so stay tuned. But let's be honest, that is not easy to do. And that's why so many people are on these dating apps and just getting this little quick hit of attention here and there from these situationships, because it's like we have been accustomed to do this, right? We all feel like we're not good enough for who we are, when in reality we are enough just as we are. Okay, guys, you know, it's so much simpler to look outside of ourselves for love and for comfort and for reassurance. But the truth is, if I can't love myself first, if I can't show up for myself the way I want to, it is so much easier to look outside of ourselves for comfort, for love, for reassurance, you know? But the truth is, if I can't love myself first, if I can't show up for myself the way I want someone else to show up for me, then I'm not going to be able to have a healthy relationship when the time comes, right? Because I'm not going to know what that looks like. So, you know, this is a lesson to everybody. You have to love yourself first. I know it sounds so cliche, but it is so, so true. Self-love isn't just some catchy phrase. All right, guys, it's the foundation that you have to build, okay? It's hard work, but if it is stable enough, you're gonna be okay. Without it, we end up just repeating the same cycles over and over again, hoping that someone is going to give us the love that we're not giving to ourselves. Should I say that again? Hoping that someone else will give us that love that we have not given to ourselves, that we have to give to ourselves. Another important fact that I would like to bring up is that neuroscience shows us that, you know, our brains actually release dopamine, the feel-good chemical, when we get attention or approval, right? And that is why it feels like a rush, you know, like an addiction when we get this attention, because it actually is. It's releasing the same hormones that would release when you take drugs, But the same research shows us that we can retrain our brains to release those feel-good chemicals through self-care, creativity, exercise, and affirmations. In other words, we can generate, what we have been chasing outside of us in ourselves this whole time. That's why I really wanted to make this podcast, because right now I am choosing to sit with this discomfort, and I'm choosing to resist that urge and that temptation to seek outside validation from other people. You know what I mean? So, this is a hard journey, but I wanted to vocalize how I've been feeling, because, other people are going through the same thing maybe and not realizing this is what they have been avoiding and pushing down and just numbing from others' attention. You know what I mean? You're numbing that void inside of yourself with other people's attention. And that is not healthy. Okay, guys, I'm realizing this now. I'm starting to become healthy. This is good. I am choosing to give myself the love, the patience, and the attention that I deserve, okay? It's not perfect. It's a friggin' journey and a half, guys, okay? Some days are harder than others, but I know in my heart that this is the work that matters the most right now. And it's gonna be setting me up for success in the future. You know what I mean? You have to go through these rough times in order to build yourself up to be the best future version that you were meant to be. So if you're listening right now and you've ever felt that pull, that craving for attention just to feel like you are, worthy or that you matter, you're not alone, okay? It is human to do these things. It's a normal human response. And it is often rooted in old attachment wounds, right? But that does not mean you're broken, It makes you human. But remember, you are capable of giving yourself that love. You are worthy of your own attention, okay? And the more we practice that, the stronger we become. Not just for ourselves, but, for the relationships that we will have in the future. So for me, this is a season of self-discovery, of building from the inside out, and I'm reminding myself every day that I have to love myself first, deeply, authentically, fully, and without conditions, right? And I have to do all of this before I step into another relationship. Otherwise, what is gonna happen? The same fucking shit that's been happening in the past. It's just gonna keep repeating itself, right? So I am choosing to change, sit with this discomfort, and because when I do, I want it to come from a place, of wholeness, not emptiness, when I get into another relationship, right? I don't want to be looking for a relationship just for attention. I want to be just living my life, and then a relationship comes into my life and it's just an extra bonus to my life. It's not like I need it, but I want it, right? So there you go. I want to say thank you for being here with me today and, holding space for this reflection with me. I hope this reminds you that you matter and you have to give yourself love. And if you have not been doing that, you better do that today. Give yourself the love that you deserve, okay? You are worth it, and you always have been. But anyways, guys, that should be the end of my podcast for the day. I hope everybody enjoyed this podcast. If it lit a spark in your brain, leave a comment. If you have any ideas for other videos that you want me to do, leave a comment. And send it to a friend if you think it will resonate with them. But anyways, I just want to say I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for being a part of this journey with me and being my becomers, because we are all becomers. We are becoming the best versions of ourselves every day. And some days may be hard, but we kick motherfucking ass. Sorry, I do swear a lot, guys, but that's just me. And I'm authentically myself. So, it's the best to just be yourself. That's bottom line. Be yourself no matter what, okay? Don't care what anybody thinks about you. Do what you want to do, right? We only have this one life. And let me tell you, love, everyone thought was the highest vibrational frequency, but authenticity is higher than that, okay? I don't know if it was 4,000 times stronger or something. It was a crazy amount. So being authentically yourself, you will be attracting the best things in your life because that's the highest vibrational frequency. And when you're at the best vibrational frequency, you're just gonna get all that good stuff and soak in that amazingness. But anyways, guys, thanks again for joining me. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and leave any suggestions of any other videos you want me to do in the comments below, because I would be happy to do them. But anyways, thanks again for being so patient and, you know, not leaving me, guys, because I did have a little bubble there. I've been going through a lot. I'm gonna make another video about it very soon, about a trauma that I have been dealing with. It's very personal. It's very intense, but I will share it because I want to be an advocate for those that have been abused when they were younger too and didn't have a voice, you know? But anyways, I love you all, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, guys.